As I was making this video, news broke that Chelsea have parted ways with Mauricio Pochettino. The final game of the 2023-24 Premier League season, which ended in a 2-1 victory for the Blues over Bournemouth, ensured a sixth place finish, securing European football for next season. This was also our fifth consecutive win, and with some key players coming back from long term injuries, the only way going into the next campaign seemed to be up. The decision to get rid of Pochettino, therefore, offers more questions than it does answers. There's a lot to talk about that, however, and there will be another video coming up later this week looking at the season as a whole and the managerial dismissal that has followed. Let's now talk about Bournemouth. In their first season under Andoni Iraola, the Cherries have shown several positive signs. They play an attractive, fearless brand of football, and while it took a while for the former Rayo Vallecano manager to instill his philosophy at the club, the prospects for next season are definitely bright. Their defeat at Stamford Bridge meant that they ended the season with three successive losses and ultimately settled for 12th place, with a top half finish on the cards not too long ago. In West London, they gave a really good account of themselves, and on another day could have easily come away with the result. The stats back that up, as Bournemouth had 22 shots at the Chelsea goal, with an expected goals number of 2.22, more than one compared to the home side. Here's a look at how the match panned out tactically. Chelsea made two changes to the side that beat Brighton and Hove Albion in midweek, where Mikhailo Mudryk and Malo Gusto both picked up knocks. The former was left out of the squad, while the latter dropped to the bench. In came Raheem Sterling at left wing, while Thiago Silva started his last match in a Chelsea shirt, with the Brazilian set to move back to his boyhood club Fluminense in the summer. This meant Trevor Chalobah moved to right back. Bournemouth made five changes from their heartbreaking injury time defeat to Brentford the last time out, but the only real surprise was Dominic Solanke dropping to the bench. The former Chelsea striker had been the Cherries' star man this season, scoring 19 times in the Premier League. He was replaced by Enes Unal, the Turkish striker on loan from La Liga side Getafe. Chelsea, as expected, built in a 3-2-5 structure, with Marc Cucurella inverting into midfield alongside Moises Caicedo. The way Iraiola's men dealt with this was extremely brave, to say the least. They essentially went man for man in a loose 4-1-3-2 shape, with Ryan Christie and Antoine Semenyo sticking close to the double pivot, Unal and Justin Kluivert pressing the two Chelsea centre backs, and Marcus Tavernier ready to close down Chalobah. Further up the pitch, Lewis Cook was man marking Conor Gallagher, while centre back Marcos Senesi was tasked with following Cole Palmer. Our forwards were therefore 5v5 against their back line. The Chelsea players, with their superior technical ability and off the ball movements, would have been relishing this prospect on paper and created two notable openings in the first 3 minutes itself. With less than 60 seconds on the clock from a Bournemouth throw in, Caicedo wins the ball back and passes it to Gallagher, who in turn finds Sterling. The winger skips past Cook, and with Max Aarons being out of position having taken the throw in, the ball is played through to Jackson. The Chelsea striker decides to go on his own, but his shot from an acute angle is easily saved by Neto. 2 minutes later, with Bournemouth continuing to press high, Badiashile finds Cucurella, who is in the left back position this time. The Spaniard plays the ball down the line to Gallagher, who is closely tailed by Cook. The Chelsea captain flicks it back to Cucurella, and with Cook dragged out wide, the space is there in midfield for Sterling to run into. The ball is played into him, and the Englishman drives forward before finding Palmer, whose shot from just inside the box goes inches wide. Bournemouth, though, continued with their high press, looking to win the ball back in dangerous areas near the Chelsea goal. They were also staying extremely compact and held a high line. Despite this, the ball over the top was hardly ever on, as the Chelsea back five was hounded and harried every time they were in possession. Watch here how Palmer drops so deep to receive, but Senesi is on him in a flash and is able to win possession back for his team. The Argentine centre back had a fantastic game, both defensively and going forward, the latter especially in the second half. The Cherries' tactic did carry a significant level of risk, however, and led to Chelsea's opening goal on 17 minutes. The visitors are once again pressing Chelsea near their own penalty box and nearly pinch the ball off Badiashile. The Blues hold on to it somehow, and Dorde Petrovic's clearance, albeit unconvincing, finds Gallagher. A layoff to Badiashile, and the ball is played forward to Jackson. With Christie and Cook caught high up the pitch, the back line is exposed. Notice how every single one of Bournemouth's outfield players is inside the Chelsea half when Jackson receives. The Senegalese turns away from Ilyas Zabani and plays a through ball to Sterling, who is once again racing through the central area. Neto reads this well and is quick off his line, but his clearance only reaches Caicedo on the halfway line. The Ecuadorian's eyes light up as he takes a touch and unleashes from just inside the Bournemouth half. It is truly a spectacular effort and hits the back of the net on the full, with neither Neto nor the backtracking Senesi able to reach it. A first Chelsea goal for Caicedo on the last day of the season, and it's highly unlikely he'll ever score a better one in his life. Bournemouth continued to stick to their guns after this, but Chelsea continued to find solutions. Here, Palmer drops back into the space on the left, with Cook staying touch tight. We almost lose possession, but Cucurella is there to win it back. Once again, Sterling moves central into the space vacated by Cook and is found by Badiashile. Aarons is right on his heels, but Sterling holds him off and lays it off to Caicedo. The Bournemouth right is now completely free, and Palmer sprints into the space, leaving Cook behind, and he is found expertly by Caicedo. The number 25, Senesi, as we see here, has his attention caught by Gallagher, and so Chelsea have a 2v1. Palmer, though, hurries his pass to Jackson, and the ball is cut out by Zabani. The Chelsea Player of the Year, despite getting into some really good positions, had an underwhelming game by his standards. One more example of Chelsea beating the press, as first Madueke and then Palmer get the better of their man markers, before the latter plays a ball over the top to Sterling. With Neto off his line, the former Liverpool and Man City man tries an audacious lob, which misses the target by some distance. Bournemouth's best chance in the opening half came from a corner, but neither Senesi nor Clivert later were able to hit the target. They were also looking to hit down the wings, especially on their left hand side, with Milos Kerkesh being a fullback that likes to bomb forward whenever possible. Tavernier and Semenyo switched wings, and it was the Ghanaian who looked to combine with Kerkesh here. The Hungarian bombed into the box and went down under the challenge of Shaloba, but referee Anthony Taylor booked him for diving. Here, Senesi plays a ball over the Chelsea defense to find Semenyo on the left hand side. He does well to bring the ball under control and find Unal, who sets it up for Tavernier to strike. The Englishman's effort looked to be heading for the far corner, but Shalaba is in the way to block. Another opportunity for Bournemouth down the left, as Semenyo this time, on the right wing, drags Cucurella all the way across before finding Kirkish. The Cherries have an overload at the back post, and the fullback's cross finds the head of Unal, but the effort is straight at Petrovic. The visitors were definitely still in the game going into the break, and things went even better for them in the second period. They started on the front foot and pushed Chelsea back into their own half. Here are the numbers from the second half compared to the first. Bournemouth had more of the ball and created more chances. We were suddenly wary of playing out from the back, as Petrovic went long with most of his goal kicks. As these stats show, the Serbian went long with 81.8% of his goal kicks against Bournemouth. In comparison, in the last three games against Brighton, Nottingham Forest, and West Ham, those numbers were 28.6, 0, and 16.7 respectively. Looking at the season as a whole, the average was 46.3%. It was, however, a goal kick punted long that brought about our second goal on 47 minutes. Jackson won the header, and after some interplay with Gallagher and Cucurella, Palmer slipped a superb ball through to Sterling, who ran into the box and squeezed the ball in from a tight angle through Neto's legs. Both our goals had come from chances one would hardly call high quality, with a cumulative expected goals number of 0.22 and a post-shot expected goals number of 0.58. Bournemouth had no plans to go down without a fight, however, and they responded immediately. Out of possession, Chelsea looked sloppy and laboured. In the build-up to the Bournemouth goal on 49 minutes, watch how easily this ball gets played between the lines by Zabani to Unal. It switched to the left, and Madueke goes to close down Senesi. The Argentine breezes past the Chelsea man far too easily, and with Palmer and Caicedo both drawn to him, there is no pressure whatsoever on Kirkish as he crosses to the back post. Cucurella doesn't deal with it, and Unal is able to bring the ball down, cut inside, and shoot. The effort looks to be going wide, but it takes a massive deflection of Badiashil's outstretched leg and wrong foots Petrovic. Bournemouth were now very much in the ascendancy, and Chelsea were camped in their own half. Here's a look at Senesi's heat map, and we can see how intent he was to make up the numbers in attack, high up the pitch. On the hour mark, Iraola made a double change, bringing on Solanke and Dango Uatara for Clivert and Tavernier respectively. He was clearly not happy to lie down and let Chelsea have the win. Pochettino responded with a triple change of his own, replacing Sterling with Christopher Nkunku on the left. With most of Bournemouth's attacking threat coming down Chelsea's right, he also brought on Gusto for Madueke. The third change was a forced one, as Leslie Ugochukwu came on for the injured Caicedo. Chelsea's lack of intensity and desire, though, was being laid bare. Here, once again, Zabani is easily able to find a ball between the lines to Philip Billing, who had replaced Unal on 70 minutes. The Dane gets there ahead of Gallagher and flicks it towards Cook, who beats Ugochukwu to the ball and plays it out wide to Uatara. The dangerous Burkinabe is one-on-one with Cucurella, but fortunately for us, is stopped in his tracks before getting his shot away. 2 minutes later, Chelsea are once again all over the place, as substitute Alex Scott receives under no pressure. As he plays it to Christie, notice the gaping hole between the midfield and defence. The Scotsman is able to carry the ball unchallenged before playing a ball over the top to Solanke. The striker's touch takes him away from goal, and his resultant effort is therefore tame and easily gathered by Petrovic. From the ensuing goal kick, Chelsea looked to play out from the back and were nearly punished. Cucurella dwells on the ball for too long and is robbed by Ouattara, who quickly finds Solanke. The Cobham graduate does everything right to get his shot away, which is just a whisker wide. Chelsea's best openings in the second period came via long balls, as in this instance, Senesi is caught a little too far forward to deal with Petrovic's thump up field. Jackson is in behind the whole Bournemouth back line and slips the ball through to Palmer. Usually Mr. Cold in these situations, Chelsea's number 20 takes way too long to make up his mind here, and Senesi recovers to intercept the pass to Gallagher. With Aaron's off for Scott, Bournemouth didn't have a recognised right back on the pitch for the last 20 minutes, and this gave Nkunku a lot of time and space on the ball whenever he received. Here, the Frenchman plays an exquisite ball over the Cherries' backline to Jackson and continues his run to get on the end of the next pass. His effort, however, is straight at Neto. In stoppage time, Bournemouth had three big chances to equalise. From a Chelsea corner, they broke at pace, with Semenyo playing in Ouattara. His effort was saved by Petrovic but fell to Christie, whose shot was blocked heroically by the man who took the corner at the other end, Gallagher. Finally, the ball broke to Solanke, who somehow blazed over the bar to keep the home side's lead intact. After the full time whistle, there was an air of relief but also excitement, with the European football secured for next season. Thiago Silva called time on his 4 year stay in London and gave an emotional farewell speech to the Stamford Bridge faithful. He thanked Marina Granovskaya and Frank Lampard for bringing him to the club and stated his hope that one day his two sons will also don the Chelsea royal blue. With the news of Pochettino's exit 2 days later, however, there is definitely a bittersweet taste left in the mouth. After ending such a roller coaster of a season so strongly, the fear is that with the wrong appointment, we might end up back at square one.